You are listening to the Julie Parker Practice Success Podcast, where you discover management insights and strategies for your successful dental practice. There are also interviews with key people in the industry who have advice and services to help you and your team achieve great success. Welcome to this episode of the Julie Parker Practice Success Podcast. And today I've got my returning guest, Chalita. I think this is the third time you have come back and joined us.
That is correct. It's a privilege, Julie, to have this session with you.
I absolutely love our conversations. And for everyone that doesn't know who Chalita is, Chalita Tesler is a motivational speaker and transformational coach and facilitator. And she really does come from a space of spirituality and what we can do to help empower ourselves in our lives and gain greater success and enjoyment, love, peace, happiness in our lives as well. And today's topic is all around manifestation, Chalita. I'm excited by this.
I'm also excited to talk about this topic that I, in my life, experienced to really witness the power of unlocking your full potential and helping others to do the same through the gifts that we all have to manifest what we truly want.
Well, I'm a big fan of you, Chalita, as you know, and for everyone else out there as well. I've worked personally one-on-one with Chalita with this kind of work. I love it, and whatever it takes for us to get to know more so all the tools, the insights, the strategies that we can use to gain a deeper experience of life and gain more out of it is thumbs up in my book. So, Chalita, first of all, for people who have come across the term manifestation and may not know exactly what we're talking about, can you explain it initially?
Absolutely. So really, manifestation is the alignment of your own energy and your thoughts and your behaviors and your patterns to bring about that what you want. So it's all about having a high frequency and a high vibration to match the level of alignment that you're looking to create within your own life. So essentially what that means is to be able to put yourself in a place where your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions all align with that what you wish to bring into your life.
Beautiful, beautiful. Because I think it has so much to do with, does it not, and always correct me when I'm wrong, of we have a conscious awareness of how we move through every day, and we can consciously be aware of the fact that we think we must have positive thoughts.
That's actually perfect to describe the manifestation process, because as we plan for something, life happens. We are living a human experience. About how do we stay focused with the intention and attention to bring in what we desire.
Yeah, because I think that's where the challenge is, Chalita, that, we have a lot of conscious thoughts that we roll out throughout any given day. We're thinking to some degree what we're doing, what we want to achieve, what we want for our lives to some degree. However, it feels like to me that we can be our own saboteur with the subconscious stuff that's going on that we are not aware about. And this is, for me, this is where I feel like I want to master this, and I feel like manifestation may be one way to go about it, because is part of manifestation trying to uncover what our subconscious thought process is?
100%. Julie, you really hit the nail on the head. Essentially, it comes down to self-belief. Like, if you don't identify someone who's worthy to have the sorts of positive journeys in life and positive upgrades and positive experiences, then you're sending out that very message that you're not worthy. And so the universe will only match that energy and that intention that's being put out. As we don't get what we ask for, we get what we believe and hold true about ourselves. So we have to understand that there's no limitation to what we can achieve. There really isn't. Because if you believe that you deserve it and your own self-worth is aligned with that, there's no limit. based on my own experiences, my friends, my clients. So working on that and moving through those limiting beliefs is fundamental to raising your frequency and putting out the energy, because that's what manifestation is all about, that energetic alignment. Like attracts like vibration, right? To attract the energy that matches your frequency. So we've got to understand that we are the creators of our own experiences. So if there is an experience in life that we don't like and it keeps coming out over and over again in different situations, then it really does highlight there's an underlying subconscious program that is driving you to think, feel, and act to attract those experiences. So 95% of our thoughts are subconscious thoughts. So it's really about being brave enough and courageous enough to go in and to be curious about what self-limiting beliefs and thought patterns are self-sabotaging and blocking those very experiences that you would like to attract into your life.
It's just so interesting because just yesterday I was having a conversation with a buddy and she was frustrated and she's saying, I've gone through all of these, attraction manifestation processes and nothing bloody works. And what you said before, we don't get what we ask for. We get what we believe. And so there seems to be a surface level understanding of manifestation. And if I just say the same affirmation to myself over and over again, that's manifesting, but it's not.
Spot on. So we have to understand the power of the spoken word. We have to be very mindful in the way that we're speaking first and foremost to ourselves and the words that we're putting out there when it comes to manifestation, because it's really as simple as this. You think it, you say it, you get it, and ultimately you bring it into existence. For example, let's take someone, who's gone to win a lottery. Everyone sort of around me lately that I've been hearing says, I wish I could win. I wish I could. So that's the energy that is being sent out. So, you're really wishing and having that wishful thinking. So subconsciously, you actually feel that you don't deserve it. You're sending out the message subconsciously by saying, I wish, that you're not worthy. And essentially that's what you're bringing about, right? So because everything is energy and nothing is off limits. So we really have to go into our mindset and really question those beliefs because we are becoming energetically aligned with that very voice that is in our head, really.
Yeah, gosh, it's just such an amazing space. I find it so intriguing because I might be quite common in that I get a sense of how powerful manifestation is. And I get that there is a structure behind the manifestation, but there does seem to be that chasm. How do you, if we're going through the process that we believe is right to manifest and we're not getting the results that we're trying to manifest, where am I going wrong? Where do I tackle things from now? Because, there is that sense of, is there a subconscious belief that I'm just simply not aware of at the moment? And Dr. Bruce Lipton, speaks to this, and you spoke to it just before too. If there's an upcoming problem over and over again, that's where the limiting belief is. What do you do then?
100%. And I will go through this process of really, it's really becoming aware, consciously bringing into consciousness what is deep-seated within us. So it's important to understand that the programs that sit with us have come about through repetition. So now they're becoming habitual way of living, right? And so the same with words, power of words, that if you say the same phrase over and over 3 times or more, that becomes an affirmation. So if you're setting out that you would like to progress in your career, but deep inside you feel, well, who am I kidding? There's a voice inside you that says that, or don't go for that opportunity, or, that self-sabotaging belief. And those words are really deeply ingrained within you that actually prevent you from taking action and co-creating the life that you desire. So essentially, it's about really becoming aware of your own most dominant feeling and your most dominant thoughts. So paying attention to your thoughts and the ones that particularly you have a strong emotional reaction to, positive or negative, right? And as you learn to recognize them, because again, it's about habitual patterns of behavior, celebrate the positive thoughts and work to eliminate the negative thoughts by changing and transforming them into mindset, into a positive mindset. So if you feel that, or you're saying to yourself, I'm not worthy enough, because fundamentally a lot of our limiting beliefs stem from fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, not good enough, not successful enough, right? So it's about reprogramming those words to I am good enough. I am deserving. The fact that I'm here, there's a reason for my soul journey here. And it's about everyone matters. Everyone within themselves has a purpose and a meaning to their life. And it's about following that passion unapologetically. And then it's also, like I said before, about paying attention to the words we say and catching yourself right there and then when you say something that's not empowering, change it to a more empowering phrase or words. So, and then also paying attention to your actions. So like I said, when you have a strong emotional tie to your thought and your belief, then you act accordingly. So your actions speak louder than words. So again, if your actions don't align with your thoughts and your words, then you're out of alignment. And this also impacts on your ability to attract what you want in your life, because now you're operating from a place of fear, place of lack, and you're not attracting life experiences that are aligned with your own authenticity.
Gosh, so much stuff there. It really is amazing. I was, in this conversation I was having with a friend yesterday, we were talking about the fact that we do go through our life from a conscious perspective, placing so many judgments and meanings on all the things we do. And we're both entrepreneurs. And so we're always like yourself. So we're always thinking things like, am I working on the right project? Am I working in the right way? Am I spending my time fruitfully? Am I still working towards my goal? Is my goal appropriate? Am I supposed to be doing all these things on my to-do list? Should I shift focus over to something else? Am I doing this well? Am I not doing it well? Like, am I being successful? Am I not being successful? We place a label on everything that we're doing. And so I think sometimes we can forget about the fact that we are doing that. And so therefore we think, it's as simple as saying, I want this new thing in my life. But we don't recognize that the way we're labeling everything else is impacting on our ability to manifest for the positive, rather than just keep reinstating the same thing over and over again. And when we look at different ways of manifesting too, I wonder if we go, that's the way that's going to happen. So this time next week, I would have manifested it. But I think it's possibly that constant and never-ending improvement journey, that constant and never-ending process of revealing and discovering and becoming the person that we are when we feel worthy of it.
Spot on. It's about, if there's something that, somebody takes away from this podcast, is really to start to operate from authenticity. So it's really about being more authentic, so you can get to that place within yourself so that you operate from that place wholeheartedly. Do the work to peel the layers to operate from your authentic self, and you will manifest everything you want in your life, period. So it's a journey to unpacking those baggages that we carry that potentially most of them are not even ours, that we picked up along our childhood, from school, from different cultures, our friends, as we were growing up, right? And so at this point, as we would like to co-create something authentically for ourselves, we have to be in that place of authenticity to manifest experiences and life that is aligned to who we truly are. But we cannot do that if we're not operating from a place of who we truly are, when we still are carrying with us those limiting belief and self-sabotaging programs. So the work is around peeling off those layers.
Yeah, so it's like we are raised by our families, in our schools. It's reiterated in our jobs and our friendships and our networks of living the life that we have identified that is acceptable to live in this world, in this culture, in this society. But the authentic self could appear something completely differently. And would you agree that this is one of the big challenges? Who am I? What is my authentic self? It's been such a long time, if ever I actually have looked at that or been intrigued by that. It's so lost in the muddy water, I can't even see it anymore.
100%. And that is being on the journey of being you. That you actually, when you're on that journey to really get curious about your why, that's actually when you're on your life purpose. So it's really about you, finding you, what drives you, what motivates you. And we often on this journey, we overthink and we overcomplicate it, that it has to be something, we're putting in sort of conditions or limitations along that journey. Whereas if we step back and understand that we are fundamentally here to expand our consciousness, to grow as on a soul deep level, to learn from experiences. So as you said right at the start, we are human and we will experience those unpleasant challenges, as we all do. But it's about really stepping back and really taking the lesson from that and growing on your journey, on your path. And the more you take those lessons, the more you will see what is worth carrying forward in your life and who to carry forward with you on this journey. And perhaps those circumstances, situations, people, places, or things no longer serve you on your journey, on your why. And perhaps then it is to be brave enough to move through that, to let go, so that you can really live a life full of fulfillment. And through my experience and from what I've, really learned in my journey, it's, true fulfillment does come from coming out of your own self. Focus on yourself is what I mean. It's about, how can I contribute to someone else? How can I help? How can I serve? Because as soon as we step out of our own limiting beliefs, we then start to see the limitless potential of the opportunities that lie right in front of us. As soon as we step out of focusing on the lack, for example, and start to see abundance in all aspects of life. So it's just last year I went to New York, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, it's not the best time to go to New York. It's dangerous." And I've actually asked a friend that lives in New York, "Is this a good time to go to New York?" And the friend said, "Absolutely." There was no shadow of doubt. So it's interesting that we all live in the same world, but we see the world in such a different light.
Yeah, that's it. Two things I want to say. One is just a little strange little story that kind of taps into what you're speaking about in New York. I don't know if it actually does tap into it properly. But I was looking at the local Facebook group from my area, and someone put up there a warning, if you come across this woman of this age and this appearance, she tries to get into your car saying, my legs hurt, I need a lift somewhere. She's in her 60s, so you tend to go and do that. But then she will refuse to get out of your car. And when she's in your car, she tries to grab the steering wheel and all sorts of things. And I'm like, what a strange situation. And you wonder if it's a bit of a spammy post. But then a whole bunch of other people said, happened to me too. These are the stores she's been banned from. This is where she lurks around. And it's the store that I shop at for my food. And so I had to go then that afternoon to go and buy some groceries. And on my way there, I found myself going, oh, gosh, I hope I don't come across that woman. How scary. Gosh, what would I do? Goodness me. And I was having a lot of trepidation. And then I thought, no, it's just the thoughts I'm having about what I read. If I had never read that thread, I'd still have gone boldly off into Coles and bought my groceries. And so I thought, okay, what if I did come across this person? What would I do? And I thought, well, first of all, if I'll walk very much with purpose. If she comes to me, I'll refuse to speak to her. If she, comes to my car, I'll say very boldly, move away from my car. That's what I'll do. Yes, that's what I'll do. And then all of a sudden I found myself actually not looking forward to bumping into her, but not having any resistance around bumping into her whatsoever. And so that's like, your trip to New York. If you'd believed, oh, yes, it is scary to go to New York at the moment, your perception of your surroundings would have been wildly different. Your experience of your surroundings would have been threatening as something to fear and looking out for dangers. Whereas you didn't. You also said, well, it could be very safe to go to New York. And so then all of a sudden, nothing has that danger meaning attached to it. And so your experience of it is quite different.
100%. And that's really, you really highlighted that very well. It's the power of choice. We all have a choice around what thoughts, feelings, and actions we choose to bring about, and the mindset we choose to be involved in. So the power of our mind causes the body to vibrate at a particular level. So either fear-based, I'm not going to go to New York, and I would feel that in my body, and then I would prevent that experience from happening, or I choose to get more information, more insight, and really get curious why the fear, and not just take it as a grain of salt based on someone else's fear, and then really make that informed, conscious decision around what feeling and action am I going to choose to sit with and to act upon. So it's important to check your feelings, your belief systems, your ideas, perceptions, and opinions you have around that which you wish to attract into your life, essentially, because in this awareness, you gain insight needed into the thoughts that create your energy vibration for attraction, and you will attract either lack or abundance of that which you desire.
Yeah, and it's really bringing that message home to me. This whole New York thing is bringing this message home to me, because that's how we manifest the reality. We literally make it up in our own head, and that's our experience of it. That becomes our reality, doesn't it? That becomes our story that we attach to it.
And it's seriously as simple or as hard as we have it. So because the law of attraction, based on the law of attraction, we all hear about it, but fundamentally, like attracts like. So we have to go through our habits, our thoughts, because where attention goes, the energy flows, and that energy is the vibration we're sending out. So we can manifest as fast as we want if we are in alignment with that which we seek. So, for example, if we want more abundance, to attract more abundance into our life, well, we've got to ask ourselves, how does an abundant person behave, talk, speak, act? What would they say? And then start to be that, to then attract that.
And that sometimes feels more comfortable for me. That I identify, it doesn't have to be me having all of those beliefs, because that sometimes feels a little bit out of reach. But if I can identify, well, who doesn't have the negative beliefs, the lack of worth, all the things, who actually does manifest this in their life already because they've already got it. And now how do I emulate being that person, become that person in essence? Because when we are looking at, you were talking about your authentic self. When we start to look at, well, who am I if I'm not these stories that are an accumulation of how I was raised and schooling and all the things, work and friendship circles, all the networks. If I'm not that, then actually who am I? And if in my discovery of who am I authentically, then that's where the fear is attached. That does that mean I won't fit in my world anymore? And then who am I? And what will I end up losing rather than being excited about what I'm gaining? What do I stand to lose if I slowly detach from the current identity and move into the authentic identity? And this is where it ends up being quite a courageous path to go down.
100%. And it's really about stepping back and really having a clear intention around what it is that you would like to bring in. And that comes from knowing your why. So, and to know your why, I mean, in my own experience and when I work with clients, it's really about what is it that gives you a good feeling. Just start with as simple as that. What can I do? What would be the next right step for me that will make me feel more empowered within myself?
I love that. Because, it's so interesting. The minute you said that, what feels good and what do you enjoy doing? Sometimes you think, well, what am I doing wrong? How am I stopping things? And you're trying to identify the negative rather than going, what comes easy to me? What do I know my strengths to be? Where do I find joy? What am I doing? What am I thinking? How am I behaving? What impact am I having? And start that list first of all, because this is a little bit of a daily practice in a sense of you can't sit down for a couple of hours and identify the authentic self like that. This takes a bit of discovery process, doesn't it?
100%. And it's about, like I said, feeling. All we have to do is put ourselves in a situation where we feel good. And right in that very energetic vibration, we then start to attract more of those good experiences, more of that feeling. And then from that space, you are then able to create. You're able to, look and find opportunities that come to you miraculously because you are now operating from a place of worth. And that's what it's about. It's about coming back to what makes you feel good about you. And so it's about looking at, your daily habits, as you said. It's about really looking at, your daily actions and surrounding yourself by people that raise your vibration and not take away that energy from you. Easier said than done, but it's about consciously choosing, like I was talking about, the power of choice, to really put yourself in that vibrational alignment that makes you feel good. Even exercise or 20 minutes a day to just be able to walk outside. Those daily habits are just critical to elevate our vibration, to align ourselves with our positive goals and ambitions and manifestations of abundance, right? So that's really what it's about, is raising our vibration through feeling good within ourselves. And then the why just becomes, more definitive when you're operating from that space.
Yeah. It feels like living the authentic life. That's when it does stop being so hard, because there's no resistance around everything anymore, because you're not trying to battle through the limiting beliefs to be able to live that life. Those limiting beliefs are gone. The feelings of, and when we're talking about the feelings of self-worth, we're not saying necessarily that people are moving through their life consciously saying to themselves every day, you're not worthy, you're not worthy, you're not worthy. What we're talking about, that little childlike voice that from the age dot started to become aware of, if you're not worthy, you're not loved as much, you don't get as much attention, you may not be saved, you're not included anymore. And quite often it's that very childlike voice that we've never really challenged that still sits there on repeat all the time. And that's kind of the voice that we've got to try to shift that meaning to.
100%. And not be afraid of that voice, because that voice is giving us a message that is the block. So when we do feel that resistance, that's really highlighting for us where we need to let go of a program or a condition that is preventing us from moving forward, into living a life that's authentic, that's, just naturally you flow with life. You actually find yourself in the flow. I really found it through my own journey. The hardest thing to do is to be someone that you're not. And the easiest thing to do is to be you. So all the pain, all the struggle, all the difficulty comes from trying to be someone you're not. And that is really a clear message. If there is pain, if there is struggle, then there is a lesson in that. And what is the lesson? And learning from it. And that's the soul journey, right? It's about expanding your consciousness, expanding you and your awareness on your path, on your journey, and on your journey of being you, as we said. So it's about not overthinking about it, not overcomplicating it, but fundamentally understanding that we're here for a reason, for a purpose, and being curious about that, and to move through those negative beliefs of, in some variation or not, they really do come to worthiness from childhood, as you said. So it's about really looking at what is it that you would like to create, having that intention, and starting to put in place clarity around what actions need to be done and the feelings that go with that in order to create that desire. And gratitude plays a huge role in this. So it's really about being in the present moment and, not thinking, not imagining for the worst or for the better, just really being grateful with the now. Because if we're not grateful with the now, how will we find that happiness if we're not happy with what we have at this present moment? So
I agree. I feel like gratitude removes those feelings of lack and scarcity, because that's when we feel abundant, because look at all the things I'm grateful for. And again, another conversation with a friend that I've had in the past, she went through this gratitude over something that appeared in her world for that day, and it happened to be at dinner time, and it was a zucchini. And so she started really becoming very grateful for the zucchini, which of course then extended out to the farmers and the trucks and the supermarket and everything, every entity that had anything to do with that zucchini ending up on her dinner plate. Like for the clients that she had paying her so she could afford to go out and buy the zucchini, and the mother for teaching her to cook zucchini and all the things. So it took about half an hour for her to speak through everything that it took to get that zucchini on her plate. By the end of this half hour, we were both in tears.
Wow.
It was such an intense feeling of gratitude. And when we can really step far more deeply into our gratitude, and that's where abundance is, and that's where we move out of our world that there is a lack and that a loss of, or a haven't got yet, and that frustration. Because I was going to say before that when we're thinking about what do I need to try to tackle or tap into with these limiting beliefs, and that we're talking about wherever we've got resistance in our life, what does the resistance appear like in our life? And it can be frustration that I don't have the thing, that I can't manifest properly. It can be frustration. It can be tiredness, because when you were speaking before about when we're not living our authentic life, we're living this other facade life, it feels exhausting to keep up that act constantly and to continue to battle with that act.
Absolutely. And it's about, it's about, the universe will put us in situations where we will be forced to step out of our comfort zone. And I feel more and more it's happening now in our lives. And the more we get comfortable in the uncomfortable, the more we will be able to live authentically without limitations, right? And really letting go of those limiting beliefs and programs that no longer serve us. Maybe they served us before, but they don't serve who we are now. And so all of those experiences, as you were talking about, that happened to date, we needed those experiences to be able to then let go and create that which we desire. Because if we wouldn't have gone through those experiences, we wouldn't be able to understand what we need to shift in order to empower ourselves to get more information. Who do we need to connect with? What opportunities do we need to seek in order to bridge that gap from where we are to where we want to be?
Yeah, yeah. And so a lot of it is about that as well. It feels like that it's about changing the story we tell ourselves about the things that have already happened when we were 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, because we've got this story and that becomes the reason we are the person we are today. No, you're choosing who you want to be today, regardless of whatever has happened in the past. And so it might be an effective thing. Everyone has to find the thing that resonates with them most deeply, but it might be that whole, that was then, this is now, that was me, this is me now. And yes, these things happened, and that was my story. That, like, right now I am, how old am I? I'm 53. Right now I'm 53. And even if I believe something about something that happened to me when I was 10, for example, if I still believe that up until last year, I can start talking to myself and say, that's right, that was the story of that 10-year-old self when I was 52. But I'm 53 now, and a different story is going to suit me far better.
100%. And if you're happy with your life, there's nothing to change. But if there's something that's missing, it's as simple as that. Then what do you need to change in your story in order to create a new one, a story that uplifts you, that really lifts you up from within, from your soul, where you wake up and you feel excited? What is that one thing, that really will make you jump out of bed with that excitement, with that, and that starts with a clear intention and really an elevated emotion. So we to start by asking ourselves, what is it that we would like to bring into our life? Is it better health? Is it more wealth? Is it having a loving partner that we desire? Being clear around your intention, because it's like you're driving a car, and if there's no clarity around where you're going, well, then you'll just be steered anywhere, right? So we need to really be clear about what is it that we would like to bring into existence in our life, and then get incredibly specific around the emotion that sits behind that intention. So really start to write down your desires, and then start to think about how you will feel once those desires are within your existence. Understanding that we have unlimited possibilities, right? So how come one person makes X amount of money and the other person doesn't? It's about the opportunities that they've embraced, the information that they got, there's so much to it, right? But it's really about understanding what we need in order to bring that into our life, and the feeling that we need to have around those intentions. So if we want, for example, a new house, so start to talk about, again, the power of words. I'm so grateful now that I have this house, right? I'm so in love that I have this partner. so it's really about having that emotion behind your intention to magnetize it to you, and to take, most importantly, the necessary steps to make it come to fruition. So action is fundamental.
I love it. I heard somebody say a few weeks ago that I know that in November my birthday will happen.
Yes.
Know what you want to manifest to the same degree. Unquestioning belief that my birthday is happening in November. Unquestioning belief that I'll be able to, that this other stuff's in my life as well.
Brilliant. Because whatever you want wants you. It's already in existence, right? It is. Well, that's the truth. So the only thing that's really creating that gap is that vibrational alignment. So once you start to do act, think, act, and feel in alignment with what makes you feel good, from simple things, going for a walk, having daily habits that are healthy, eating healthy, talking to a friend or listening to a podcast or something that will support that empowering mindset, that's when you will start to see a shift in how you feel, and then the experiences that you want to bring into your life just follow seamlessly and easily into your life.
Oh, it's all very glorious. Chalita, if there are people out there that want to go on this journey and have you facilitate them on this journey, and what other ways can you help people? Can you speak a little bit to that?
Absolutely. So I've actually just put out my spiritual manifestation masterclass, where we will embark on a transformative journey, really go into deep diving into the spiritual laws of manifestation, such as law of intention, law of divine timing, law of cause and effect, and many other universal laws that really work within the realm of spiritual manifestation. So we will really deep dive into real world problems and challenges that people experience, and we will discover practical solutions as we navigate the synergy of those laws. So we'll really go into actionable advice to overcome those challenges, to manifest in the shortest amount of time. So I've had incredible feedback from prior participants in the masterclass. So the details are on my Instagram at Chalita Tesler, and on my website, chalitatesler.com.
Beautiful. I'll add those links into the show notes as well. It really is a powerful thing to be working with you in this space. I'm speaking from experience there, and to head down this path, because you're right in terms of the timing of it, because look at the things that are going on. I mean, we're here in Australia. People could be listening to this in other countries that are also experiencing the same sort of thing. We've got all of the us and them mental space mindsets that are coming into play. You are either for the voice or against the voice. You're either for the vaccines or against the vaccines. You're either support Jewish or you support Palestine. And then in addition to that, we've got all of the cost of living, all of the other issues that are going on as well. Crime seems to be going through the roof. Health services going down the toilet. Education down the toilet. Then we've got all of this stuff going on. And if I can use the analogy of, we've got all of these things that are making us go to New York, or creating the environment for us to go to New York with fear. It's a dangerous place. However, it doesn't need to be. And this is the time right now that we need to get a handle on this stuff and choose that alternative path. Choose to go to the New York, choose to live our life, not with fear, not looking for the fear, therefore finding the fear, because that's the way our minds work. But we need to move through the next phase of our life in control, empowered, enlightened, inspired, for the greater experience, for the greater level of self that we can manifest for ourselves. And so I think the timing of your workshop is just crucial.
Absolutely, Julie. Thank you for summarizing it in that way, because ultimately we are responsible for our own life and the choices we make, and no one is here to save us and walk the journey for us. So it's everything that you said. It's about empowering ourselves to choosing the mindset that will help us on that journey.
You're glorious, Chalita. Hopefully there will be another episode coming up, so I look forward to that one. In the meantime, I look forward to catching up with you socially.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Julie.
If you enjoyed this podcast, then I encourage you to head over to Amina and my website, dentalbusinessmastery.com.au. You will find all the information that you need if you would like to gain our assistance in helping you and your team achieve great success. We've got online courses, consulting programs, the club membership. We also have a whole bunch of tools and resources that are available for free that will help you achieve your practice goals. If you would like to find out more, you can also email us directly at info@dentalbusinessmastery.com.au. Thanks so much for listening.